These are four active space threats quietly unfolding right now that could fundamentally change life on Earth, and most people are completely oblivious to them. While we're all doom-scrolling about celebrities and arguing about pineapple on pizza, our planet is literally losing its magnetic shield. Our moon is slowly abandoning us. Killer asteroids are playing cosmic hide-and-seek, and our orbital neighborhood is turning into the universe's largest junkyard. Let's start with the most unsettling one. Earth's magnetic field is having what scientists politely call a moment, but what the rest of us might recognize as a full-blown existential crisis. Over the past 200 years, our planet's magnetic shield has weakened by 9% globally. That might not sound like much until you realize this invisible force field is the only thing standing between us and the sun's constant barrage of deadly radiation. The 1859 Carrington event showed what happens when solar storms hit a weakened magnetic field. Telegraph systems worldwide failed, with some operators receiving electric shocks and telegraph paper catching fire. The NOAA Space Weather Prediction Center warns that a similar event today could cause trillions in damage to our electronic infrastructure. The most dramatic example is happening right over the South Atlantic, where there's a growing weak spot that scientists have dubbed the South Atlantic Anomaly. Since 2014, this magnetic dead zone has expanded by an area nearly half the size of continental Europe. Think about that for a second. An invisible shield protecting all life on Earth has developed a hole the size of several countries, and it's growing every year. The European Space Agency's swarm mission satellites have been tracking this phenomenon, and the news just keeps getting worse. Professor Chris Finlay from the Technical University of Denmark, who leads the research, puts it bluntly. The South Atlantic Anomaly is not just a single block. It's changing differently towards Africa than it is near South America. There's something special happening in this region that is causing the field to weaken in a more intense way. What's particularly alarming is that since 2020, the weakening has actually accelerated. The weakest point in this anomaly now measures just over 22,000 nanoteslas, which has dropped by 336 nanoteslas since 2014. To put that in perspective, it's like watching a dam develop cracks that get bigger every time you check on them. This weakening stems from disruptions in Earth's geodynamo, the swirling molten iron in our planet's core that generates the magnetic field through complex convection processes. When this system becomes unstable, our protective shield falters. Satellites passing through this region are getting hammered with increased radiation, causing malfunctions and complete blackouts. But here's the really fun part. If this trend continues, computer models suggest that major solar storms could destroy up to 40% of Earth's protective ozone layer at high latitudes for months or even years at a time. Nothing says, "Good morning," quite like the prospect of getting a sunburn through your bedroom window. Some scientists wonder if we're witnessing the early stages of a complete geomagnetic reversal, something that hasn't happened in 780,000 years. The geological record shows these flips have occurred 183 times in the last 83 million years, so we're actually overdue for one. The process takes thousands of years to complete, during which our magnetic protection would be severely compromised. On the bright side, at least we'd have excellent aurora displays everywhere on the planet. Speaking of cosmic neighbors behaving badly, let's talk about the moon's slow-motion abandonment of Earth through tidal acceleration. Our celestial companion is currently moving away from us at a rate of 3.82 centimeters per year, about the same rate your fingernails grow. That sounds insignificant until you consider the implications of this cosmic divorce proceeding. The moon isn't just pretty to look at. It's been Earth's gravitational anchor for over 4 billion years, stabilizing our planet's axial tilt and preventing the kind of extreme wobbling that would turn our climate into a cosmic pinball machine. Without this stabilization, Earth's seasons would become chaotic, ice ages would come and go unpredictably, and evolution would have had a much harder time producing anything more advanced than very confused bacteria. As the moon drifts away, our days are getting longer, currently by 2.3 milliseconds per century. 4 billion years ago, when the moon was much closer, it would have appeared 3 times larger in the sky, and Earth's day was only about 6 hours long. The geological record from 70 million years ago shows there were 372 days in a year back then, meaning dinosaurs enjoyed 23.5-hour days. Apparently, even the T-Rex had more time in their day than we do. The really sobering part? In about 600 million years, we'll witness the last total solar eclipse in Earth's history. The moon will have drifted far enough away that it can no longer completely cover the sun's disk. Future generations will look at our eclipse photos the way we look at cave paintings, as records of natural phenomena they can never experience themselves. The moon's recession is also gradually slowing Earth's rotation through tidal friction. Most of the energy involved gets converted to heat in our oceans, while only about 1/30th actually transfers to the moon. It's like a cosmic energy tax, where Earth pays most of the bill, while the moon gets a free ride to a higher orbit. If you're enjoying this so far, please like, subscribe, and comment to boost me in the algorithm. If you have any hype points, I humbly ask you to consider using them on me. I spent 4 days researching this topic and would greatly appreciate your kindness and support with my video. Thanks a lot. Now, let's shift from slow-motion disasters to the kind that could ruin your entire millennium in a matter of seconds. Asteroid impacts and near-Earth objects. In 2005, Congress ordered NASA to find 90% of the estimated 25,000 near-Earth objects larger than 140 meters, roughly the size needed to level an entire city. The deadline was 2020. Spoiler alert, we missed it by a cosmic mile. We've only found about 43% of these potential city killers, which means more than half of the asteroids capable of causing regional devastation are still playing an extremely high-stakes game of cosmic hide-and-seek. At our current detection rate, it would take another 30 years to finish the job Congress assigned us nearly 2 decades ago. It's like being asked to find a needle in a haystack, except the haystack is the entire solar system, and the needle could wipe out Cleveland. But here's some hope. NASA's DART mission in 2022 proved we can deflect asteroids when we find them in time. The successful impact with asteroid Dimorphos showed that kinetic impactor technology works, changing the asteroid's orbit by 32 minutes, far exceeding the minimum 73-second change needed to declare the mission successful. Amy Mainzer, the principal investigator for NASA's upcoming NEO Surveyor mission, puts it in perspective. We know of only roughly 40% of the asteroids that are both large enough to cause severe regional damage and closely approach Earth's orbit. That's not exactly the kind of statistics you want to hear, about objects moving at 20 kilometers per second. Take asteroid Apophis, a 340-meter space rock that will pass within 31,000 kilometers of Earth on April 13, 2029, closer than many of our communication satellites. While current calculations show no impact risk for that flyby, Apophis represents exactly the kind of threat that keeps planetary defense experts awake at night. The detection problem is particularly acute for smaller objects. Unlike their larger cousins, small asteroids move rapidly and are often obscured by background stars or lost in telescope blind spots. They reflect very little light, making them nearly invisible until they're practically knocking on our atmospheric door. It's like trying to spot a charcoal briquette flying through a Christmas light display while wearing sunglasses. Take the case of asteroid 2024Y R4, discovered recently with an initial 2.1% chance of hitting Earth in 2032. That's roughly 1 in 47 odds, about the same as drawing a specific card from a deck. The International Asteroid Warning Network issued its first ever potential asteroid impact notification, which is the astronomical equivalent of a heads-up, this could get interesting, alert. Fortunately, additional observations have reduced the impact probability to 0.28%, but the fact that we're playing these cosmic lottery games at all should give everyone pause. The good news is that NASA's NEO Surveyor telescope, launching in September 2027, will operate from the Sun-Earth L1 Lagrange point and dramatically improve our detection capabilities. This infrared observatory will be able to spot dark asteroids and comets that don't reflect much visible light, but glow in the infrared spectrum when heated by sunlight. It should discover between 200 and 300,000 new near-Earth objects, including some as small as 10 meters in diameter. Working alongside NEO Surveyor, the ground-based Vera Rubin Observatory will begin operations in 2025, using its 3.2 gigapixel camera to scan the southern sky and detect moving objects. Together, these systems will revolutionize our ability to catalog threats and provide early warning for planetary defense. But perhaps the most insidious threat isn't coming from space. It's something we've created ourselves. Welcome to the nightmare scenario known as Kessler syndrome, where our own space debris could trap us on Earth indefinitely. The concept was first proposed in 1978 by NASA scientists Donald Kessler and Burton Core-Palais, who warned that the density of objects in low Earth orbit could reach a critical point where collisions would trigger a cascade effect. Each collision would create thousands of new debris pieces, which would cause more collisions, creating exponentially more debris in a runaway chain reaction that would make certain orbital regions completely unusable. Here's where the numbers get truly terrifying. As of 2024, there are over 39,000 cataloged objects in Earth orbit, but the European Space Agency estimates there are approximately 130 million pieces of debris, smaller than 1 centimeter, that we can't track individually. These tiny fragments might seem harmless, but at orbital velocities of 10 kilometers per second, a 1 kilogram piece of debris hits with the force of 22 kilograms of TNT. The situation has deteriorated dramatically in recent years. In 2024 alone, there were several major fragmentation events that added over 3,000 tracked objects to our orbital inventory. A Chinese Long March 6. A rocket broke apart in August, creating at least 700 fragments, with the potential for more than 900. Russia's destruction of the Cosmos 1408 satellite in 2021 created 1,500 tracked pieces and an estimated hundreds of thousands of fragments too small to track. SpaceX's Starlink constellation, while revolutionary for global internet access, has become a major player in this orbital dance. In the first half of 2025, Starlink satellites performed 144,404 debris avoidance maneuvers. That's one collision warning every couple of minutes, day and night, for 6 months straight. The rate has tripled compared to the previous 6 months. The International Space Station has had to dodge space junk 39 times in its history, including twice within a 6-day period in November 2024. Each maneuver costs thousands of dollars in fuel and planning, not to mention the stress on astronauts who have to wonder if today's the day. A paint fleck moving at bullet speed puts a hole in their only way home. Donald Kessler himself wrote in 2009 that the debris environment had already become unstable, meaning that even if we stopped launching anything tomorrow, the problem would continue to worsen as fragments from future collisions accumulate faster than atmospheric drag can remove them. Dr. Vishnu Reddy from the University of Arizona puts it succinctly: the number of objects in space that we have launched in the last 4 years has increased exponentially, so we are heading towards the situation that we are always dreading. Some experts push back against the doomsday scenarios. Moriba Jah, a University of Texas aerospace engineer, argues that the framework oversimplifies the problem and doesn't give us a way to manage or evolve the system. But even skeptics agree that the situation requires immediate action. The economic stakes couldn't be higher. Modern civilization depends on orbital infrastructure for GPS navigation, weather monitoring, and communications. Polar orbiting satellites provide 85% of input data for weather models, while 78% of commercial aviation navigation depends on GPS. Satellite communication now serves approximately 68% of the global population. Solutions are being developed, from self-healing spacecraft materials to active debris removal missions. The European Space Agency's ClearSpace 1 mission, scheduled for launch in 2026, will demonstrate active debris removal by capturing and deorbiting the defunct Vespa upper stage. ESA has pledged to be debris neutral by 2030, and over 100 partners have signed Europe's Zero Debris Charter. NASA has been authorized to spend $150 million through 2028 on orbital debris remediation research. But here's the sobering reality. These 4 threats are interconnected in ways we're only beginning to understand. A weakened magnetic field makes satellites more vulnerable to radiation damage, increasing the likelihood of failures that create more space debris. Asteroid impacts could knock out critical space infrastructure, while the loss of GPS and communication satellites due to Kessler syndrome would cripple our ability to track incoming threats. The lunar recession, while the slowest of these processes, affects Earth's entire climate system and could influence how we adapt to the other challenges over geological timescales. These aren't distant, theoretical threats. They're active processes reshaping our cosmic neighborhood right now. The question isn't whether we'll have to deal with these challenges, but whether we'll recognize them in time to respond effectively. While we can't stop the moon from drifting away or instantly fix Earth's magnetic field, we can dramatically improve our asteroid detection capabilities and clean up our orbital environment before it's too late. The universe has been trying to kill us for 4.6 billion years, but so far, life has been surprisingly good at dodging the cosmic bullets. Our challenge is making sure we don't accidentally load the gun ourselves.